was thinking about when we were children and how we used to get those vaccinations when we were children, and how the government was saying you should get your children vaccinated because it'll protect them. Because the government, it looks out for humanity. Right. And I was thinking to myself, why would we need vaccinations when we are children? You got to think about it. There were not always vaccinations. Before vaccinations were invented, people were having children. And they didn't need vaccinations because they didn't have vaccinations. It was man-made. And I was thinking to myself, why would they even come up with vaccinations? That it has to be a bigger explanation. And I was thinking to myself, what if vaccinations were given to us as children to suppress us somehow? Because if you think about it, when we are children, we are in our purest form. We are spiritually high. That's what I feel. Because we are in our purest form, because we haven't been tainted by society or conditioned in any way, we're free in our minds. We don't have any fear as children. I feel like that's when we are strong spiritually, when we're children. And I feel vaccinations, and I could be wrong or I could be right, with some kind, those vaccinations with some kind of way suppress that spirit within us. I feel like vaccinations some way suppresses our pineal gland. Because our pineal gland is our connection to our higher self, to our higher spiritual self. And if you can give them something to suppress that, right, to stop it or suppress it in some kind of way where they don't have connection to their higher self, then when they get older, there will be a disconnect there, that they won't be connected to their higher selves. Because see, if we start now when they're younger, we understand that as they get older, life starts happening, right? Conditioning, beliefs, other things that will alter our spirituality in some way. And then the pineal gland is completely blocked. We are completely separated from our higher self. And I say all that to say, it got me to thinking about COVID, Corona, Delta, whatever name you want to give it, whatever name they gave it. I feel like that vaccination was to suppress the soul, to prevent the awakening that is upon the earth. That's why I feel like they were pushing it so hard. Think about it. They said vaccination was going to take 2 years to create, but then next thing you know, in a month's time, they've come up with something. It was like they was pushing it. They would come in the neighborhoods. They was like, hey, we'll bring it to you. You ain't got to come and get it. We'll bring it to you. And I just was thinking to myself, it was just like it was pushed, you know. And if you didn't want to do it, it's like, okay, well, you don't want to take the vaccination. All right, well, we're going to make it mandatory that you take this vaccination at your job if you don't want to do it willingly. It's like strong arming, right? Whatever we got to do to get them to take that vaccination. And I was just thinking to myself that that vaccination, outside of the fact that it was based on fear, that they tried to use the fear narrative, but I feel like when that wasn't working, they had to come up with different ways to get people to take that vaccination. And it's like, why? You know. But I feel like on a higher level, it was about stopping this spiritual awakening, stopping souls from awakening. Because as I told you, the planet is on a higher frequency. And I feel like because it's on a higher frequency, they was trying to stop this spiritual awakening, stop these souls from awakening. And I feel like with COVID, that was the last ditch effort that they felt that they could do to stop this spiritual awakening. And that's why I felt like they was pushing it so hard. But it didn't work though. And it never was gonna work. Because it was already written that it was gonna happen. This spiritual awakening. It was like they was trying to play God. It was like they were trying to alter what was written. And it was never going to happen. And that is why, even with all what they have tried, the spiritual awakening continues. When that narrative, the COVID, Corona, Delta, whatever you want to call it, when that didn't work, I feel like they knew that was the last trick in the hat to stop the spiritual awakening. And they knew that. I say they, the systems, the machine knew that. And so now, after that didn't work, so now at this point in time, they know it's the end. It's 2026. It's already ended. And now, they're just buying time. Pay attention. Pay attention. Because, as I said before, it's all about truth. It's all about seeing behind the curtain, seeing that these systems are just fear-based And the only reason these systems are still in motion is because of fear. That is the fuel. Fear is the fuel. And I said this before, that is why during the time when COVID was supposedly, rampant, they was pushing so hard. They did everything they could to instill fear. That's why they put the number of people that were dying on the television, on the news. Think about this. As I said this before, the news is part of the machine. I was also thinking to myself, remember when Juvenile rapper, he had that video, vax that thing up. You see what I'm saying? All a part of the agenda. Different celebrities, not all white, some, I think most black, really, to be honest with you, that were promoting the vaccination. It was a part of the agenda. To stop this spiritual awakening. But like I said, you can't stop something that's already in motion, that's already universally backed. And no matter how much they resist, and to be honest with you, the more they resist, the faster the spiritual awakening, the faster people are waking up. I said this before, either way it goes, whether they try to stop it or continue to try to stop it or delay it, it's just going to make people wake up, souls wake up faster. And even if right now, they stop right now, we're trying to stop it, still souls will awaken. Souls are going to awaken regardless, because souls been awakening, and they're going to continue to awaken at a very high rate. Because now it's all about the light. Thank you. Bye-bye.